Only show where you get the truth, justice, and the Big SILZ way. Good afternoon to all. We appreciate all of you coming aboard here for the National Football Show. Big SILZ here. We always start the program off with Big SILZ. And we are powered by our great friends at BetUS. Please make sure you check out the fabulous website. You can also go over to betus.com.pa for you to check out all the great things that they do throughout the year. Please check out the website. We appreciate all coming here every day, Monday through Friday. And then also now with our pre- and post-game show that we have with the world-famous JAKIB Sports Eagle pre- and post-game. That's every single Sunday that the Eagles have a game. Monday, Thursday, depending what their flavor is. We appreciate all coming aboard here. Super chats all go to the top. On top of that, okay, please hit the like button. First 15, we call it the Power 15. Hey, guys, you want to spread the show? This is your show. This is the last place where you can have an opportunity to talk shit to the host and tell him he's full of shit, or that we can have a debate. No one else has a debate, especially in Philadelphia. It's a one-way highway. Not here, man. It's the only place we don't block people unless you're a complete douchebag. Nobody gets blocked. Do me a favor, and it is your show. By the way, you've made this thing. You've made it. Why wouldn't you want to make it bigger? And I can't thank you enough for it, man. Hey, man, I'm a working dude just like you. First 15, Power 15, hit the like button. We appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Thank you very much. Blankenship, really? Is that the news coming out now? Is that Blankenship could be lost for 2 to 3 weeks? That is a communication guy that is essential to that secondary. If that turns out to be correct, that Reed Blankenship may have some issues over the next couple of weeks and he may miss some time. That could be a factor. But you're in the part of the schedule where you might be able to get away with that for a little bit here. So, again, guys, please hit the like button. Here we are. I mean, we're in December now. These are now championship months. You're really going to know who the teams are. Look, I wrote 4 teams down in the AFC, and I wrote 4 teams down in the NFC. Here's my Power 4, or I probably should say Power 8 football teams right now. AFC, I got Buffalo, 10-2. Kansas City at 11-1. Pittsburgh at 9-3. And I got Baltimore at 8-5. I can't think of any other teams. You might want to put the Chargers in there because of their defense. Who would have thought that the Chargers actually have a better statistic than the Eagles when it comes to points allowed? They are killing teams on defense. You know, they're so far to the West Coast, we forget that team sometimes. They've given up 188 points this year. That by far leads the NFL. 188 points in 12 games they've only surrendered. And in that conference and in that division, that's pretty good stuff. And that is because of Jim Harbaugh and his emphasis on wanting to run the football and play tight defense. They've improved mightily over there, and Derwin James is absolutely killing it. I mean, unbelievable. Just 188 total points that they've surrendered this year. A testament to their defense. All right. And over in the NFC side, Detroit, Philly, Minnesota, and Green Bay. Detroit 11-1, Philadelphia and Minnesota both 10-2, and Green Bay at 9-3. And with the remaining games in the schedule still, every one of those teams has a shot at home field advantage still. Same thing with the AFC. Maybe not so much Baltimore, but Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Buffalo all have a shot at hosting home field advantage at their respected houses. I mean, here's the deal. I would say this to you, that the NFC probably has deeper rosters. The AFC has the better quarterbacks. I mean, Detroit, Goff's good, man. No question. Philadelphia, Hurts is average. Minnesota, Sam Darnold. whatever you want to say about him. I mean, I'm no fan of that guy. And then Love. But over in the AOC, Allen, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, who's won a Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson. That's where the quarterbacks are. And we shall see. And by the way, for the record, we're going to do something today. Hey, and just so you know, we're gonna do this here in a minute. We're going to compare the Detroit Lions, and we're going to go roster-wise. And we're going to look at the Lions versus the Eagles here in a minute. And then we'll look at what the teams have done this year. We'll do that. Brian Westbrook is going to join us, Eagle legend, at 3:30. We will have Battle Royale between Philly 500 and Mark Holmes, Dallas Cowboy Honk. That will be at 4:30. Zander's going to pop in with us at the top of the 5 o'clock Eastern time. Get in where you fit in. We're going to do that here in a minute. By the way, I submitted my NFL Coach of the Year weekly ballot. Okay? And I was flipping around and I heard Zander talking and everybody on Birds 365 talking about Nick Sirianni about Coach of the Year. How is he not Coach of the Year? How's Andy Reid not? Teams with great rosters and their coaches with expectations, they don't get love for Coach of the Year. I'm not really sure you want that. Do you want it? Kevin Stefanski's won it twice. Matt Nagy won it. Brian Daboll's won it. What's the deal? Do you know how many times Bill Belichick has won NFL Coach of the Year? I think twice. I mean, you're not going to get that. Andy Reid doesn't get consideration for Coach of the Year. Why should Nick? Okay? Why should Nick? You know, I heard the guy on from the ESPN radio show that he does this morning with Zander. He goes like this. He goes, how does Nick not get any love for it? Because the expectations were so high for the football team and for the organization. All the great coaches don't get love. They just don't. It's never been. Okay? It's never been an award where established coaches win that award. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. And we're going to start comparing Lions versus the Eagles here in a second. Like I said, Brian Westbrook is going to join us at 3:30 Eastern time. I can't wait to hear what he says about Saquon Barkley's season and what he's having in the year that he's having, with an opportunity of potentially going past Eric Dickerson's 2105 that he set in 1984. That would be a remarkable achievement. Do I think he's going to get it? I don't. I don't, because I think there has to be a lot of factors for them to get it. I think they still have to be fighting for home field advantage until the very last game for him to get it. Because if they've wrapped it up or someone else has wrapped it up, what's the point of playing him? Just so he could break the record? That doesn't seem like a guy who's really interested in that. Okay? That doesn't seem to be. Now, that's a great point. Like Crowley just said, I never called Sirianni a great coach. I'm sorry. He's doing a lot better since the bye. But I don't really think you have to do much coaching when you're just turning around and handing the ball off. I think Vic Fangio has been a remarkable hire. I think the addition of Barkley has been sensational. I think all of that, okay, has been great. And that's an organizational thing. You know, as bad as the organization fucked it up last year with Desai and Brian Johnson, this year they've done a lot of right things. But that's the Eagles, man. They hit or miss when it comes to their assistant coaches. It's hit or miss. Okay? Do me a favor, guys. Please hit that like button. We're going to get to the differences and similarities between the Lions and the Eagles. Let's get to it now. How many people believe that the Eagles are better than the Lions? We're going to go down rosters too here. Okay? How many people believe the Eagles are better? Okay. See a lot of people here. So let's just take what they've done this year for 12 ball games. And let's just take a look at it. Eagles are better. Lions defense is disseminated. Let's take a look at that because that's not true. Lions, they are number 2 in total offense at 395 yards per game. Eagles are 4th at 377. I think anytime you're in the top 5, you're in the room. Passing, the Lions are 5th in passing at 250 yards a game. The Eagles are 28th at 188. Clearly, they're a better passing football team than the Eagles, by far. Your girl, Joy Taylor, on her show today said people like you who slander dual-threat quarterbacks and leave out their rushing statistics need to catch up on the old times, old man. Sills, get off my lawn. Well, I'll make a point to you. There has been only one quarterback with 6 rushing touchdowns to ever win a Super Bowl. One. Wrote him down. In the year that Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl, he had 1 rushing touchdown in 13. I went and looked it up. No quarterback with over 6 rushing touchdowns in the history of the NFL has ever won a Super Bowl. Ever. Ever won a Super Bowl. Now, maybe he changes the narrative. Here it is. Russell Wilson in 2013 regular season, they won the 14 Super Bowl, had 1 rushing touchdown. Steve Young in 1994 had 7 rushing touchdowns. He had 293 yards rushing, and he threw for 4,000 yards that year and 35 touchdowns. Steve Young is the only man ever in Super Bowl history with 7 or fewer rushing touchdowns to win a Super Bowl. In the 50-plus years of the game being played, the rushing touchdown never mattered for the quarterback. Ever. Except one time. So don't fucking tell me about changing the narrative. Where? No quarterback but Steve Young has won a Super Bowl with 7 or fewer touchdown rushes. Guess Josh Allen? Once again, one fucking quarterback has won a Super Bowl with 7 or fewer rushing touchdowns in the history of the league. The difference with Allen is, in Hurts, Allen carries his team. I'm not getting into that fucked up debate again. It's pointless. Like I said, Steve Young threw for 35 touchdowns that year. So when you say that, prove it to me. Sills, most of those TDs are from the 1-yard line. Should we throw the ball there? No. But stop bringing up the rushing touchdown stat to me because they're meaningless. They mean nothing when it comes to winning Super Bowls. Quarterbacks have to win from the pocket, not from rushing the ball into the end zone. No, are you not hearing me? No quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl but Steve Young, who threw for $4,000 and had 7 or fewer? Nobody. Quarterbacks win Super Bowls from the pocket. They're not dual threat. Mahomes has never in his career, in any of the Super Bowls, had massive numbers when it came to rushing. That's so fucked up. Now you're trying to say Mahomes, you're comparing Patrick fucking Mahomes to Jalen Hurts. Hurts is a bum compared to Patrick Mahomes. I'm not getting off my fucking topic here. But here, let's take a look at the rushing touchdowns in this guy's career. This is not something they want him doing. I mean, rushing touchdowns, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 1. Dual threat? Dual threat? Dual threat! Dual threat! Doesn't win Super Bowls. Dual threat! Hey, how about this? SILZ is old school? No. I'm reality. Here. Super Bowl winners. Dude, nothing to do with crying. It's just facts. I'm not saying anything that hasn't happened. I mean, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You're making a narrative that doesn't exist. You are making a narrative that does not exist in Super Bowl play. It doesn't exist. Where does it exist? Show me where that happened. Let's see here. Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Mahomes, Brady, Nick Foles, Brady, Manning, Brady. Russell Wilson was not dual threat. He had 1 rushing touchdown that year. They won the Super Bowl. Flacco, Eli, Rodgers, Breeze, Roethlisberger, Eli, Manning. Come on, dog. Where's your dual threat guy? And when Joyce says that, show me the facts. Mahomes is dual threat in Super Bowl games. Okay. He don't win games during the regular season. Thank you, Sydney. I appreciate that. By the way, I mean, right? Look, this is not my topic, so we're moving on. How many people believe that the Lions are not better than the Eagles? Here, the Lions are second in total offense. Missed 2 super chats. Watch the Broncos versus the Browns game. As an Eagle fan, I can clearly see that even Bo Nix has more talent as a passer than Hurts. That's not a shocker. Jameis Winston has more talent. I wouldn't take him, though. Too many turnovers and too reckless. Most Eagle fans saw that Jalen performed well in the pocket in the Super Bowl, and I assume they can think that he can duplicate it or exceed it the next time. Is that fair? Has he? Can you name me a great passing performance, Des, in the last 2 years by him that replicated that Super Bowl? Can you? Can you name me a Super Bowl? I mean, a game that he's played in the last 2 years where you went like this. Yeah, he had a great passing performance. So you're saying he could duplicate it. Has he? Or how about this one here, Des? Let's be fair. Des, has he duplicated that performance, that Super Bowl performance, in any game since? He didn't duplicate that in the Bills game. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He did not. Allen outplayed his ass in that game big time. If you're going to say that he outplayed Mahomes, Allen outplayed his ass. He had 500 yards in total offense. Don't fucking talk like that. And don't use it when you need it. Jalen had a good game against the Bengals. It does. Name me one game he's had that looked like the Super Bowl. Get this. And this is what, Dez, I'm not ripping you, Hoss. You know what Dez just said? I'll have to research it, SILZ. That means it doesn't jump off the chart at you that you don't remember a game that he's played like that since. Has he played a game like that since the Super Bowl? The answer is no. Philly has better talent, but Detroit utilizes their talent better. Here, and Bob, appreciate you saying that. So let's do this. Lions are second in total offense. The Eagles are fourth. Passing, this is where they're better than Philly in offense. They're fifth. Eagles are 28th. You would think that having a top 5 passing attack, you wouldn't be that great. The Lions are fourth in rushing. The Eagles are first. So here's the difference in offense. The Eagles are 28th with a passing game, and they're first in rushing. The Lions are fifth in passing, and they're fourth in rushing. Who's got more balance? Bob. Who's had more balance this year from the beginning of the season? And by the way, this is who they are. This is what they've done. Bob, who's had more balance this year in what they do? The Lions or the Eagles on offense? It's the Lions. They can throw to win and run to win. You can't throw to win. So and by the way, the numbers don't matter. I'm talking about the balance and the trend. Scoring. The Lions are number 1 in scoring. The Eagles are 7th. So let me get this right. They're the more balanced team and they score the most. Who's got a better offense? They're the number 1 scoring offense in pro football. Number 1 in pro football in scoring. Okay? And they're 4th in passing, or 5th in passing and 4th in rushing. Allen behind Eagles would be unstoppable. Completely unstoppable. So, end of the day, this year, here's another one. Red zone. Lions are 5th. Red zone efficiency. Eagles are 13th. Third down. The Lions are 3rd. Third down effective. Eagles are 9th. Lions are better offense because they're more balanced. This is what they've done all year. They're the number 1 scoring. Hey, it's funny. All these stats matter when you're talking about your defense. The Lions are the best offense in football. They've done it all year. By the way, every game they've done it. Ravens had a historic offense and lost to us. Let's get to the defense, where you think you have the advantage. Defense. The Lions are 10th in total defense. They're a top 10 unit. The Eagles are number 1 at 282. This is their crux, but it doesn't matter against Philly. They're 25th in passing, in pass defense. That won't matter because you don't throw the ball. Lions are better offensively. Golf is better than Hurts, but fortunately, Eagles just have to be better once to beat them. True. Jalen versus Washington last season. 29 of 38, 319, 4 touchdowns. Okay. Against Washington last year? Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. So he's had one great game since the Super Bowl. Thanks, Prince. The Lions are 5th in rush defense. The Eagles are 7th. They got a better run defense than you. The Lions are number 2 in points allowed. The Eagles are 4th in points allowed. The Lions are number 2 in red zone defense. The Eagles are 5th. Third down, the Lions are number 1 in third down defense. The Eagles are number 2. So the advantage you think you have on the defensive side, you don't really have it. They have played a better football brand this year than you. Week in and week out. On both sides of the ball. Where you have them is in balance. You're good against the pass, and you're good against the run on defense. Okay? Where they have you on offense is in every single thing. Red zone, third down, scoring, passing, balance. Every place they have. You're not and your quarterback is not better. So, again, 12 games. Take a look at the 12 games with the Lions, too. Lions scored 42 against Seattle, a playoff contending football team. They scored, some of these here, Dallas 47, that doesn't, whatever. Okay? 52 against Tennessee, 31 against Minnesota, who Minnesota, by the way, has given up fewer points than you have. Okay? Detroit's done a nice job this year. I didn't think those defensive numbers were that good. Hurts is a winner. So's Goff. So's Jared Goff a winner. So let's do this now. Let's take a look at rosters. Okay? Let's take a look at rosters. Okay? Look at rosters. Let's see something here. I want to take a look at this. You got to remember something, too. Can you imagine this? Jared Goff has completely turned around and did something in Detroit that not even Matthew Stafford could do. He's made him a contender. He's made him a contender. Okay? Let's see. Let's go here. 20. Got to do one thing here. Yeah. Okay, good. Jared Goff's the bum. Rams moved on and won it. Yeah. And now he is with the number 1 team in the NFC. And he went to the NFC Championship game last year. Where was Stafford? I must have missed that. It's one of the very few trades that I've seen where both guys end up really benefiting. Eagles don't have to rely on the pass to win. They run the ball and play defense. Ranked number 1. Hurts has the second most rushing TDs in the NFL. Congratulations. He's a great runner. Never said he wasn't. Never said he wasn't. Here's how I look at the rosters. By the way, all supers go to the top. Please do me a favor, guys, and hit that like button. Do the Eagles or Lions have more team speed? If it's the Eagles, they might not benefit from playing us indoors on turf in Detroit. Oh, I think it totally, Lore, I think if the Eagles go inside and play inside in Detroit in the NFC title game, Eagles have by far more team speed than what Detroit has, especially on defense. I think you have more team speed than them. Yes, I do. I don't think that's going to benefit the Eagles anymore anyway if they have to go to Detroit. Now, if they have to come home and they play at home at Lincoln Financial, I think that totally is a disadvantage for the Lions having to come outside of the dome and go play at Lincoln Financial. For the Lions to get to the Super Bowl, who I picked this year, They have to host home field. And if they don't, they won't. Okay? They won't. Lions can't close games like the Eagles. Yeah, it's because not your quarterback can close them. But remember something. They have two 1,500-yard rushers. They can close games out. They're what are you talking about? They're number 3 in rushing. Don't make it sound like they don't run the ball. They do. They're number 5 in passing, and they're number 4 in rushing. You're making it sound like they don't have a running game. They have a great running game. I mean, it's a great running game. And by the way, they play in a tougher division than you. They've got Green Bay and Minnesota in that division. To some aspects, even Chicago. You have nobody in that division but Washington. The rest of them are bums. You play in one of the worst divisions in football. They play in the best. The Detroit Lions play in the best division in football. Okay? I mean, it's the best. I thought the AFC North was going to be tough. Okay? But anybody who doesn't think the NFC North is the best division in football, you're just making lies up. Okay? I mean, yeah, let me take that back. Let me see. Well, the Dolphins still have a shot. The Jets suck. New England sucks. You're right. The AFC East is probably the worst. AFC East is terrible. If Detroit is fully healthy, I have no doubt they have an edge. The injuries is what's making the difference right now. Both teams, Harv, both teams. Harv, who's going to win the NFC is going to come down to health and home field. Okay? It's going to come down to health and who gets the home field. That's how I see it. Okay? Here's Bob. Silz, do me a favor. Compare our rushing O versus rushing D, or passing O versus passing D. Well, yeah. I mean, Bob, the rushing offense is number 1. Their rush defense is number 5. What else did you say? Their rushing offense is number 4. And your rushing defense is number 7. It's a good matchup. But here's the difference. They're number 5 in passing. They're more of a balanced offense. If Golf is going to throw 35 times in a game. If you stop the run, they're going to throw it. They're going to throw it. So let me get to the rosters. Let me get to the rosters here. By the way, not that big of an advantage when it comes to the Eagle defense versus the Lions defense. They're number 1 in defense, which is spectacular. AFC East and NFC, AFC South are worse. Well, one of those teams in the South beat you this year. Can't be that bad. Actually, 2 teams beat you from the South, didn't they? So wait a minute, Anthony. 2 teams from the AFC South beat you this year. Is that right? Anthony's trying to tell you that the AFC South is the worst, and 2 teams from the South beat them. Is that correct, Anthony? The Buccaneers and the Falcons beat you? So how fucking they be the worst when they beat you? And by the way, the Bucs beat the shit out of you. I mean, how can they be the worst when you couldn't get through 2 teams in the South? I mean, NFC South's the worst. Funny, Falcons and the Bucs beat you. Okay? Crazy. All right. Let's see here. First 4 weeks preseason. Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't count then. So that Green Bay game doesn't count. Okay, got it. Right, Anthony? The Green Bay game doesn't count. Okay, no problem. So we'll just from now on, when we talk about quality wins outside of the Raven win and the Commander win, the Green Bay game doesn't matter, right? Is that what you're saying? No problem. I got it. So for you, then, you take one of your significant wins off the board, first 4 games, you give Green Bay a bye too. Is that right? Is that what you're doing, Anthony? That Green Bay game doesn't count, that win you got, right? That doesn't matter. Right? Just checking. If it doesn't matter for the other teams, it doesn't matter for you, right? Or does it? Or help me out here. Or is it just like you're trying to take the building blocks to make your narrative sound that you are whatever? Right? You say it all the time. The season starts in November, SILZ. I say all the things that you did during the regular season can all be put as you get into November, December, into a bucket and go like this. What have you done for the year? That's who you are. This is who the Eagles are. They're going to run the ball. I'm not even talking about statistics. I'm talking about identity. You run the ball. You don't throw it that much. You're not going to turn it over. That's who you are. I'm not talking about stats, really. I'm talking about what you've done for 12 games. This is who you are. You're not going to get off that. All games matter, no excuses. Yeah, you take all those games, then you start to form a narrative in who you are. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at the rosters. Let me go over here now, because I want to be very careful here, not to dismiss the Lions guys. Okay. How many people believe that the Eagles have a better 53-man roster than the Lions do? How many people believe? Doesn't matter. We didn't play well against Green Bay. Okay. If that's how you see it. I don't see it that way. I think they all matter. But hey, who has a better roster? The Eagles or the Lions? Bob, you seem to be a guy that we all lean on a little bit when it comes to having some impartial thoughts. Who do you think has the best roster right now on December 4th? Who would you think, Bob? Mr. International, Eagles. Who would you think? I think the Eagles do, but they're not playing up to their roster standard, and the Lions offense is more potent. But I would take the Eagle defense any day after watching them this season. They've changed a lot of people's narratives here. By the way, once again, Big Sil's proven right. You guys are fucking trying to tell me that the defensive line had high grades and they played well against the Ravens when it came to the run game. Even Jalen Carter sucked when it came to how people looked at him, how they played against the run against the Ravens. So don't talk to me about fucking what you see and I see. I know what I saw. I saw those guys not playing well against the run. They had 5 yards a clip. I mean, you're out of your minds. They didn't play well. Nobody graded well. Nolan Smith was a casualty out there. I mean, even Jalen Carter didn't grade well. Lamar was all over the place. I think that had a lot to do with the linebacker play in the secondary. But at the end of the day, you didn't play well against the run. Nobody with any brains thought that. Nobody. Every one of your D linemen outside of Sweat had a poor grade. Get this. Carter was dominating. Stop quoting Stat Nerd. They had 5 yards of fucking carry. What are you talking about? He got played great against the pass. He sure did. Dude, they had 5 yards of fucking carry. As a team. Holy shit. You stupid people. Any team that surrenders 5 yards of carry did not have a good night. Ask Vic. We hung in there. Did you hear him say that? We hung in there with their physicality and we were as physical. We hung in there. Those were his quote words. Holy shit. You don't even believe your own guy talking. Hey, you don't believe your own guy when he says it. Same thing with Jalix Hunt. We said it the other day after watching it on film. He looked decent a few times, and some of it was a train wreck. Holy shit. I'm not even talking about this, but I'm talking about how people, hey, by the way, Greg Cosell even said the Ravens were moving the ball at will. Look, I'm not debating it with people who don't know what they're watching, and you watch a completely different ball game than me. You watch a completely different game. That's a good game considered how good. That's right. That's right. Jason, they had a great game against a great team. You're not going to stop them. That's right. Get this. I'm going to show you something here. Carter was hogtied every play. Of course he didn't. How about this? Right now, he's not on the All-Pro PFF midseason. Cam Hayward, Chris Jones, and who's the other guy? And by the way, I saw the voting. And I saw the voting right now is that with the Players Association. And the Pro Bowl D-line right now is TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Chris Jones, and Myles Garrett. That's your Pro Bowl D-line, all-pro D-line. Carter's not going to get it. You know why? Because him being held tells you why. The players aren't going to vote him. They'll probably vote him second team or third team. And he'll win it next year when Cam steps away. That's not how that works. Hey, do I think that Jalen Carter's playing better than Cam Hayward? Maybe. Excuse me. NFC, he will. That's not all pro, son. All pro is both conferences. Okay. All right. So, here, let's take a look at the rosters. Man for man. We've showed you that they've played with great balance, the Lions. By the way, I want to do this. Do you guys know what we're doing here? This is not a rip. We're talking about two of the best rosters in all of football. Do you understand that? This is not to dismiss the Eagle roster. Okay? So if you think that's what this is, that's not what this is. We are looking at two teams that are fighting to win the NFC. To me, it's a merit badge. I didn't think they'd be this far along defensively. I get it. You mean my delivery's like Vicks? Right? Blunt and to the point. Okay? Right? These are the two best rosters in the NFC. Carter can pad his stats against some bum teams. Why would you play him? I'm going to need him against Pittsburgh and Washington in the divisional round of the playoffs. Do I need him against Carolina? Okay. Actually, get this. Once again, I will make the point. You guys were saying this last year when you were 10-2. I was wrong all year. 2 years in a row, you've been saying it. Why don't you hang in there a little bit? You said I was 1,000% wrong last year at 10-1. 1,000% wrong. My own network was saying the same shit they're saying right now. The same shit. Same stuff. Verbatim almost. Verbatim. And I kept hanging in there because I know what I see. Are you better? I think so, yeah. Is there a better energy? Yeah. Is there better coaches? Yeah. Do I think there'll be a meltdown? No. Have to come along faster? Yeah. But you haven't won dick yet. Nor has anyone. Nor has anyone. You're damn right I said 9 fucking wins. I didn't think your defense was, I just fucking said that. And by the way, dude, if I could predict that, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be on an island with a beard where no one could ever find me again. Okay? All right. So let's go down the roster here. Let's start with the offense. Jared Goff versus Hurts. Well, I'll take Goff. Having a better year. Nowhere, anywhere, is Jalen Hurts having a better year than Jared Goff. Nowhere. Running back. Barkley versus Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going Barkley. Okay? I'm going Barkley. Okay? Jared Goff's season. 4,300 passing yards, 33 touchdown passes. This is what he's trending to. 109 rating, 72% completion percentage. Down in attempts is why that percentage is up. He's having a fucking amazing year. His rating is higher, his completion percentage is higher, his touchdowns are higher, and his passing yards are superior. He's going to throw for a full 1,000 yards more and probably 13 more TDs than their guy. Tell you this, on the running backs, can't put both. But I'm Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs and Barkley. Let's take a look at that with the Lions. Gibbs, he's not even the starter. He's trending to 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. And the other guy, Montgomery, is trending 1,100 yards and 16 touchdowns. Who do you think has a better running game? You're going to get 30 touchdowns from two backs, and you're going to get 16 from one. Who has a better running game? So in theory, let's do this. Say Barkley goes and gets to 2,105. Jahmyr's 1,500, the other guy's 1,100. That's 2,630 touchdowns. How in the world do you have a better running attack than Detroit? When they got two guys that are going to get almost $3,000 and 30 TDs. You got one guy. Now, wait a minute. Let's add Hurts into this. 615 touchdowns and 16. That's 31-2. All right. I think that's fair. Put Hurts in that. That makes it closer. Who has a better running attack? I think that's a push. Okay? I think that's a push. Both guys are going to be near 30 touchdowns. Both teams is going to be near 30 touchdowns. No, you have to add Hurts into this. If we're talking running attack, okay? And by the way, you don't have the advantage. I don't know in the O-line yet. We'll get there. So I'm going to say a push in the running game. We'll go push here. Barkley, though, is just electric. So if I had to lean, I'm leaning to Barkley. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown. Ahmad St. Brown. I'm going A.J. See what Jameson Williams is doing this year compared to Devontae. See where he is and what kind of impact that he's having on that Lions team this year and what he's done. Jameson Williams and what he's done this season. So he's roughly going to get around 900 yards, 6 TDs, about 50 catches. Okay, I would say I'm going to take Devontae because I just think he's a better player. Okay? And I'm going to say this. Eagles better not take an L because if they take an L in the playoffs, SILZ is going to have a field day in the offseason. Flexing. Let's see what they do. You guys are convinced they can win with one style of ball. Now, I don't even know who the fuck this guy Tim Patrick is. I have no idea who he is. This is the number 3 wideout. I'm sure he's better than anything Philly has. Okay? The Dotson guy stinks. So this guy, let's just go push. They both Dotson and this guy Patrick. That's a push. Okay? So right now, A.J. Brown and Devontae have the advantage over Ahmad St. Brown and Jameson Williams. 2-3 guys, who cares? Both of them are going to get about 500 yards. I don't even think Dotson gets 500 yards. I'm not convinced on shit. I hear you. This guy goes here. Tim Patrick won't have 3 catches, nor will Dotson. The tight end is superior to anything you have in Philly and Detroit. He's superior to anything you have. Sam Laporte is a better ball player. And right now, he's going to have around 50 catches for 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. Tight end advantage goes to Detroit. Now let's get to the D-line, or the O-line. Taylor Decker versus Jordan Mailata. This kid Decker's had a fucking great year. You know, he's the highest rated left tackle in football. I'm still going to go Mailata. I just think he's a better ball player. Even though the kid Decker's had a fucking great year. Okay. And for my personal takes, I like Jordan Mailata better. Graham Glasgow having a sensational season too. Mm. I'm going to take the kid Glasgow over Dickerson. Ragnow over Jurgens. That's not a question. I'm going to take Becton over Zedler. I think Micaiah Becton has had a phenomenal season. And Penei Sewell is the best offensive tackle in pro football. So in theory, if you really want to debate the left guard position, Detroit has a better O-line. They're going to have two 1,000-yard backs over 1,300 yards. Two of them. But by the way, these are the two best lines. And you want to know how razor thin? If you went like this, SILZ, give me the Eagle line. I'll be like, fine, I'll take the other one. SILZ, give me the Lion line. Give me the Eagle line. I love the Eagle line, for the record. Okay, I do. But what they've done this year, they've balanced it out better because, again, the quarterback helps too. Because the quarterback has been setting protections his entire career, and he knows what he's doing. Whereas your guy, this is the first year in 12 years he's ever set protections. So he actually knows what he's doing. Okay? The quarterback is more experienced at knowing what to do as a quarterback in this league than what Hurts does. Hurts said it. Everyone said it. He's got more responsibilities this year. Well, Golpin's been doing that his entire career. From the time he was at Cal through his entire NFL career, he's been setting protections. Okay? Yeah, by the way, that's because Goddard's going to miss more time. That's why. Hey, Penei Sewell's they have the best O-lineman in football. Hey, Flexen, you can't convince. He thinks that Goddard's better than Laporta, and I don't believe that. Now let's go to the defense. So let's see this. Add it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a push. Both offenses have advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, I'd also like to say that I'm not convinced we can win a Super Bowl or even win a playoff game by just running the ball. Yeah, but here's one thing to Zander's point and everyone else's. Hey, SILZ, everyone keeps saying they can't do it, but every week they line up and they're doing it. Until someone stops that, and until someone stops, dude, the moment they stop the run game, it's over. Detroit, you can stop the running game, and they'll still beat you with the passing game. And some of you are going, well, wait a minute here, SILZ. Then they'll automatically turn it on. Okay. Well, you haven't turned it on at all this year. But you're going to turn it on, I guess, when you need it, right? You're going to flip a switch where you haven't had any consistency in the passing game at all this year. But you're just going to flip a switch, and that thing's going to improve. Remember something. Your offensive passing game has not improved. Barkley improved the offense. That's all that's improved. The quarterback is not turning it over because the quarterback's not being asked to do anything. And I mean by this, a lot of things, I should say. Has he made plays on third down? Yes. Has he been effective on third down? Yes, but that offense doesn't run through him. That offense does not run through him. That offense in Detroit runs through Goff. Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay. It all runs through those quarterbacks. It does not. You take Barkley off that team, you don't win any games. How about, get this? Hey, Bob, you answer this for me, Bob, because they won't answer it correctly. Hey, Bob, how many wins if Barkley's not on that team and you have Kenny Gainwell or DeAndre Swift? How many wins do you think the Eagles have this year? How many wins? How many wins? 7? 6? How many wins? Your quarterback hasn't done shit. I mean, that offense goes through the running back. Okay. Let's get to the defense. This is going to be a little bit interesting here because a lot of us don't really know. Now, it's going to be more difficult because Detroit plays a 43. Okay? They play a 43. You play a conventional 34, but it's not really because they play a lot of 5 front and they're a lot in nickel. Okay? So let's here. Let's take a look at this one here. Let's go Zadarius Smith, Milton Williams. Let's see what Ladarius has done this season. Since he came over from Cleveland, I think it was. He came over from Cleveland. If I'm not mistaken, he's got 2 sacks since he's projected to have 10 sacks this year. Okay? So he's going to have 10 sacks. And he's lined up at the left defensive end. Milton Williams, what's Milton lined up to be? What's Milton's numbers? Where he has right now and what he's trending. That kid Smith, I'd like to have had him. And by the way, I think Milton's had a really good year. Milton's projected to get 7. Who would I take? I'll give it to Milton. I think Milton's had a better year. I think he's had a better year. I'll take Milton there. Bob SILZ, not only does the O go through the running back, the running game also allows us to win all the time of possessions, keeping the defense fresh. No Barkley, the D would be gassed. We win 6 to 7 games. Correct. That's what happened last year, Bob, when your running game fell off the cliff. Your defense got gassed, and it was a massive collapse. Absolutely. McNeil for the Lions has been pretty good this year. They've really done a nice job inside and stopping the run. I mean, they're 4th in run defense right now. And he's had a really good year. He's a defensive tackle. Alim McNeil, he's on pace this year as an interior defensive tackle for 6 sacks. And Jordan Davis, I'll take McNeil. Jalen Carter over Reeder. And I think Reeder's a really good ball player. Teams are starting to stack the box because they don't fear Hurts. I would rather run to triple option because Hurts is not throwing the ball. Look, they're 10-2 doing it one way. And you're not going to convince the people in Philly, especially certain media people, that they can't win a Super Bowl, even though history doesn't really say they can. But they're going to try to say to you that, well, it's a new wave. Like, hey, I love joy. Prove that to me. And by the way, do I think it's going to happen? Yeah. Josh Allen, Lamar, maybe Hurts, Jaden Daniels, all them guys. They're guys that run the ball. And they're saying it's new wave. Well, until the drop back quarterback doesn't win consecutive Super Bowls, until the quarterback doesn't win, dude, Mahomes wins from the pocket. He doesn't win in the perimeter. He wins from the pocket. Andy Reid is a pocket coordinator. Mahomes is so gifted he can pull out an RPO when he has to and run it. Do you really want to put Patrick Mahomes in an RPO? What a waste of talent. What a waste of arm talent that would be. Mahomes runs when needed. That's exactly right, Flexen. Fifth quarter in the Super Bowl. They needed that 65 yards of rushing. That was the difference in the game, was when he pulled it out. They're not going to have him run for 65 yards versus the fucking Raiders. That's not going to happen. By the way, Brian Westbrook is going to join us at 3:30 Eastern time. Nolan Smith versus Pascal. This kid's had a pretty decent season, but not, I mean, we're looking at 3 sacks. They're kind of a push there. So those two dudes, Smith and him. Zach Bond. Let's take a look. Zach Bond's played great ball. There's nobody, I don't know where you can go. Zach Bond gets that over Nowaski for sure. Jack Campbell versus Nakobe. Jack Campbell right now is on pace for 130 tackles. He's the Mike linebacker in that defense. Nakobe's played well, but I'll take Jack. Turner. Sweat. Josh has had a great year. Carlton Davis. Left corner. On pace for 72 tackles and 5 picks. Does Milton Williams have a pick yet? It's too late to bring in passing quarterback. Dude, please. Nolan Smith has 4.5 sacks. Okay. I don't think he's a better player. Does Q have any interceptions yet? Still taking Q. By the way, I'm clearly taking Brian Branch over CJ. I don't believe that's even a question. I don't even believe that's a question. Brian Branch over CJ, no question. Kirby over Reed. Let's see. I might take Reed here. Kirby Joseph, safety. 80 tackles. Reed's had a really good year. Teron Arnold right now. You guys have been telling me that he's had a shitty year. Well, Teron Arnold right now is 5th in tackles. And right now, he's on pace right now for 62 tackles, which would be more than what Q is. And by the way, their pass defense is a problem. Their run defense is better. That's where Q gets the nod, definitely. Their secondary's better. You mean your secondary's better? Your secondary's better. And I would say this. Their front, outside of Jalen Carter probably tilts it. Your defense is probably better. It is. Not by a lot, though. Their offense is really good. This could be quite a game. And again, this is going to come down to health. Okay? Yeah, I'll probably say Jamal Adams over Reed. Jamal Adams? No. No. Let me... Jamal Adams is a stiff. He's finished. He's Jamal Adams, please. He was good 5 years ago. Okay? We got to do this shit for content. Only dumbass thinks Lions have a chance against Don Fazio and the Capos. Hey, Akbar, whatever you fucking want to do, whatever you want to do, this is called sports talk, reality talk. You don't like it, don't fucking listen. This is not a military draft. I look at teams, unlike you do, I have no affiliation to the Eagles. I tell you this all the time. I love the fans. So I am as impartial as you will ever find covering your team without a guy telling you and lying to you that I love your team. I don't give a fuck. I love football. Come on. You can't do that. We are discussing. I'm not. I'm discussing talented players. I'm looking at a fucking roster, and I'm saying what player I think is better. That's not stats, dude. Who's a better fucking player? Laporte or Goddard? Laporte. Who's better? Ragnow or Jurgens? Ragnow. Who's better? Penei Sewell or Lane? Penei Sewell. That's not a fucking stat. That's not a stat. That's reality. What I love here is that you guys will take whatever fucking numbers to fit a narrative saying, look at what we've done. Zander gave me some shit. In the last 8 games, there was some stat. Oh, fuck, that's okay. It works there, right? But when I bring up the entire year of what the Lions have done, that's stat watching. Well, what the fuck are you doing? And by the way, your entire organization is built off of analytics. They tell you that. Analytics are stats. Are you telling me that the reason the Eagles are 10-2 is because of how they look at the analytics? So now you're contradicting even what they do. Holy shit, you are dumb. It boggles the mind on how you look and pick and slice certain things, but don't fucking look at the entirety of the year. I got a guy in here telling me the first 4 games don't matter. They all matter when it comes to home field advantage. Your play calling, how about this? You want to hear something? Why don't you bitch and complain about the analytics in the first 25 plays? That's analytics. It fails. It fails. Are those first 25 plays not analytics? They spend all fucking week on it. First and foremost, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do, douchebag. Fucking talk to me like that. You don't know me from a can of paint. Fucking talk to me like that. Your entire organization is based on that. Angry? No, Dave. Frustrated with ignorance. Angry? Once again, Dave, I don't get angry at people I don't know. Angry? Wrong dude, guy. Says, why are teams allowed to hold Carter so much and no calls? Sam, he's a young player. That's why. And by the way, everyone like Prince that comes in here each and every single day, we love him. I don't want him to think that. And I do. I mean that. Okay? What was that guy? I'm 6. I don't give a fuck if you're 10-4. Angry? But once again, dude, that shows me. He goes like this. SILZ angry? Huss, you don't know me. You've never seen me angry. You've never seen me angry. Angry? I'm not angry. Angry? Why would I get angry over sports talk? Angry? Says you're snapping like this is why the show's top notch. Matt, thank you. Hey, Matt. No, hey, it's called passion, Matt. Okay? It's called passion. Lions have the edge at quarterback. Hell, I'll probably take Hendon Hooker over Jalen Alexander Hurts. The fruitcakes in chat would say otherwise. By the way, Brian Westbrook is going to join us. Hey, by the way, how many wins did you guys have last year in a row? I saw Zander post some bullshit again. 10-1. 8 straight. All right. Right into my grips again. This is history repeating itself. This is fucking great. Right into my grips. Your quarterback's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. But seriously, played great. I know he did. He won't play 3 in a row to do it. He doesn't have to because we're going to run the ball. I know. I got it. Everyone's under the assumption, Brian, that the offense got better. Barkley made it better. The quarterback didn't. The quarterback didn't make it. How many people think Jalen Hurts made that? Then was Nick overselling that dumb shit again today? You should see Jalen, he's setting the protections, and I was like, he's making it really easy for Barkley. Okay. Well, that's his job. It will come down to coaching. I'll take the Lions offensive coordinator over Kellen Moore any day. After 20 years, they've come back to life. 20 years? It's more like 54 years. By the way, I turned my ballot in for NFL Coach of the Year. We do it weekly for the NFL honors. When you're an alumni guy, you get a vote. By the way, Brian Westbrook's going to join us here in a couple minutes. Here's my 10. I got Andy Reid at 10, Kansas City. He's going and doing something historic. That's trying to get a three-peat. Number 9, Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. Guys doing a great job. By the way, their defense is killing it. I didn't realize how good they were on defense up there. Number 8, Jonathan Gannon, Arizona. Cardinals are who and where? Number 7, Matt LaFleur, Green Bay. Heck of a play-calling head coach. Number 6, football team hasn't been good, James Jones, since 1997. Dan Quinn, Washington Commanders. Number 5, guys taking a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. Denver looks pretty decent, man. I got him at number 5. Number 4, do you know who has the most point differential on defense this year? It's the LA Chargers. Jim Harbaugh has changed the narrative for the Chargers. I got him at 4. Number 3, Kevin O'Connell has won 10 games with Sam Darnold. Really? Sam Darnold has won 10 games this year? That guy is fired from 3 teams. And he's won 10 games? Number 2, I got Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, fantastic. I mean, dude, Mike Tomlin, 18 straight years of winning football. My only problem with that comment is I didn't know that winning streaks like the Eagles go at and Zander posts, I didn't know that that was the benchmark in Pittsburgh. I thought Lombardi trophies were. Mike hasn't won a playoff game in 9 years. Okay? I mean, as much as I love the guy and I'd want to play for the guy, he hasn't won a playoff game in 9 years. And number 1, guy's done a great job at just transforming Detroit into being a contender and now the number 1 team in the NFC. That is Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was a guy that nobody wanted to hire and thought he was all goofy when he did the chopping at the knees and this and that. And Dan's done a hell of a job. By the way, you know what I love about what that guy did? Did you hear what he told his players too? So here, Reed 10, McDermott 9, Gannon 8, Matt LaFleur 7, Dan Quinn 6, Sean Payton 5, Jim Harbaugh 4, Kevin O'Connell 3, Mike Tomlin 2, Dan Campbell 1. Did you see what he said about Caleb Williams? He says, if that dude decides to turn it up, I want you guys to blast that guy. Don't not hit him. He has a propensity sometimes to turn it up, and nobody hits him. Hit him. I love that mentality. I just love that mentality where you have a guy there. And by the way, one more thing on that list. Think of this too. Detroit, horrible franchise forever. Minnesota, haven't done anything in 40 years. The Chargers, been in 1 Super Bowl. They're terrible. Denver, good franchise, but then again, this isn't Pat Bowlen's team. Washington, ever and ever was a train wreck under Daniel Snyder. Green Bay, always a good franchise. There's one of the true great franchises. Gannon, Arizona, the Bidwells. Who wins in Arizona? All shitty franchises. Shark, Nick Sirianni, Coach of the Year. He'll never in a million years see any votes inside the top 5. Nobody respects him. That's not me saying it. Nobody respects the guy. The only people that respect him are people in Philly. That's fine. But football people, they don't. Okay. You do. All clickbait? Guy, nobody has anywhere near Nick Sirianni as Coach of the Year. Tyler, what's funny is, if you think it's clickbait, why do you come here? I don't get that. I don't do anything for that. Holy shit. So what did you call it when I was on the radio for 30 years? Radio bait? What did you call it then? I did radio for 30 years. Same way. What are you talking about? Dude, I don't write shit down to play a role. That's not what I do. It's called call bait. You mean like WIP does, where you have to only call in with good takes and agree with the host because they screen the callers. You know, they got call screeners. Do you know who screens my chat room? No one. No one. So if you disagree with me, no. 35-year career. Not 30 years. 35. Yeah, I have sucked for 35 years. Yeah. Dude, here's the point. And let me close this topic up, the differences between Detroit and Philly, without all of you moaning and crying and just absolutely getting so offended. These are the two best rosters in the NFC. That includes Green Bay. These are the two best. You've proven it. Okay? It's going to come down to health and home field advantage on who wins the NFC. One catastrophic injury could end both of them. You lose one of those running backs in Detroit, or Jack Campbell, or a Brian Branch, or a A.J. Brown, or a Barkley, it's over. It's over. That's the league. No one respects him? You mean no one likes? Look at his numbers. So, once again, Shark tries to tell you that the numbers are what makes respect. No. Are you trying to tell me you have more respect for Nick Sirianni because he has a higher win percentage than Dick Vermeil? Is that what you're saying? Or are you trying to tell me that because Nick Sirianni has a higher win percentage than Andy Reid, you have more respect for Andy Reid? I mean, more respect for Nick? Let's go down the list. You mean to tell me you have more respect for Nick Sirianni than you do Bill Parcells, who has a 526 win percentage? Is that what you're telling me? No, it's not all about winning. It's all about winning the championships. It's not just about winning. Or guess what? You would be Marty Schottenheimer. You know, I'm going to show you this. Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer. All-time wins list. And here's your Nick Sirianni conversation. We'll do that in a bit here.